What's good, family? This is Queen Common Sense coming back to you from the Chi Town remix to the sticks one more time today. Oh my God, I am thoroughly disgusted at what I just heard a little while ago. Man, Ariane and Nay, y'all are some deplorable, disgusting motherfuckers. You know that? I tell you, this was a trigger for me in more ways than one because I have a sister a lot like Ariane who is extremely insecure, and she is like the right arm or appendage to my narcissistic mother. And when I say deplorable, self loathing, covert, coy, malignant narcissist, I mean that in every sense of the word. My sister has done some things that are illegal, a lot like Ariana. She has doxed information that she should not have. She has access certain people that she had no business approaching, and she has inserted herself into so many cracks and crevices of my private life that if I began to list them, I would probably run out of run out of ink in the ink pen. Okay. Now, it's really disturbing that Black women in general take so much pride and pleasure in other Black women's trauma, releasing and exposing that trauma to the world. And these are people who are complete strangers to one another, complete strangers. It's just a certain level of morality and integrity that Black women should have for themselves and how they conduct themselves in the company of other people. This is just a low that I haven't seen anyone stoop to in quite some time. And I've been all through up a lot of these little sectors up here, beef sector, the black sector, all different kinds of content I have run across. And this is the epitome of disgusting. It is not anybody else's responsibility or entitlement to discuss someone else's childhood traumas if they have any type of history with essay. This is just really lower than even what I expected Trash Tail to go to. I mean, you pillow talking about things like this. And I'm not saying that it's true. I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm saying that it's disgusting either way, whether it is true or not. How the fuck are you going to be talking about my past that I shared with my then spouse to your fucking mistress? And then she's up here talking to a whole nother stranger about my past. That's not content. That's invasion of privacy at this point. This is not a good old chuckle chuckle ha ha. Oh, Martell got removed off the panel at the women's empowerment brunch. That's a chuckle. That's a celebration. But to sit up here and release this audio with this trollop professional side chick jump off discussing Melody's alleged childhood trauma, alleged assault, or whatever. Mm, it's very ad nauseum disgusting. You know, my sister, like most narcissists, feel that she's above the law, feel that she is above reproach, above an apology. That's because that is what she witnessed growing up from my mother. My mother was never wrong. She could never apologize, even could never even own her own words. Even if you play them back to her on a recording, she'll have an epic, explosive, violent reaction to being called out for being out of order. And we remember how Ariane reacted when, you know, a wife confronted her on IG about her behavior and how she had that adult temper tantrum with her children in the house. Probably woke them up out their sleep. She was hollering and shouting and screaming so loud, and it's just the justification for it for me. I was looking through the comments. It's I don't I don't understand it. It's mental illness. It's definitely mental illness. And to justify this shit is totally beyond me. I don't even want to understand it because if I do understand it, it's gonna be like I'm no better than them. You know what I mean? Let's just check this out, on her channel, the one that released it. Okay, somebody made a comment and said, "Now, what was said in this video isn't what a lot of people expected to hear. My thing is, don't get bothered by the tea you get because it's about melody. The cast and other CCs bring drama about everyone's marriage in the cast. People were talking about Wanda having Tisha at a young age, but it's a problem when it's Mel. Now, cut the BS. We all came here to hear whatever was being said on the audio. All I say is if it's false, Melody and Vanessa can be dunked. It should be said debunk what was said. Illiterate hoe. Remember, we don't know these people, so when tea is brought out about the cast, don't get in your feelings. It's for entertainment purposes, right? This was a comment posted on this channel, and then the channel holder thanked the commenter. And then another comment says, cheating side chicks misappropriating funds is tea. Essay, not tea. That is not a skeleton in her closet. Okay. There's no lower than low you can go, but to hell with this. Really, they took it to hell. And I pity these three fools. I really do. I pity these three fools playing ring around the rosy with other people's personal private life. Okay, things that they know that they have no business putting out there. Now, this first comment here says a lot, just the first sentence. I'm sorry, the second sentence. My thing is don't get bothered by the tea you get because it's about melody. Nobody's bothered about any tea we get, whether it's about Melody or any of the other cast members. It's just exceptionally grimier and a whole lot more out of bounds and way more vicious in the delivery of said tea and the caliber of said tea when it is about Melody versus the other cast members, which is highly very telling, as we've been saying all along. This was especially a trigger for me too because I remember I had this bully in grade school, and we're gonna call her DY by her initials. And out of the blue, I remember first grade was a breeze. I was excited for second grade. And I was getting my favorite teacher who had been teaching at that school for the past 20 something years. So she taught my older three siblings and then she would be teaching me. And she was a black woman and she was no nonsense. And she saved me and helped my self esteem tremendously because of DY, who used to bully the fuck out of me out the blue, out of nowhere. Second grade started, and I had a bully, and I could not figure out why until I got a little bit older and understood the family dynamic and having two parents compared to children who only had one parent. Now, this was back in the late 70s, early 80s now. So I'm telling my age, and it was still just as ratchet then as it is now with certain mammies who are reckless with who they copulate with and conceive with and are envious and jealous and resentful of those black women who decided to marry and have children within the unification of marriage and the nuclear black family. So this little bitch used to bully me. She used to try to cut my hair out by the root, pull it out, put gum in it. She used to fuck with me relentlessly all throughout second grade up until we got into sixth grade. Relentless. And of course, having a narcissistic mother, she wasn't trying to hear that. She didn't want to hear it. She didn't want to be bothered. She was very selfish and self centered. And by the time I came along, this was I didn't expect any more children, baby. And covert narcissists always do things behind the scenes. So she got pregnant, my mother did on purpose, but yet she didn't want any more children because that was the only rabbit trick up her sleeve to keep her husband, my father, from leaving her to care for three children by herself because their marriage was in deep, deep dog shit before I came along. So I was the fix it baby. I was supposed to fix their marriage, fix the family, bring everybody together, heal everybody, and still grow up to be sane, a lucid young woman and emerge into adulthood with my scruples intact. Needless to say, it was a fucked up, bumpy ass ride, to say the least. And Dana grew up to be a mother and spawned a little girl who started to bully my little girl. This particular commenter here at the top reminds me of motherfucking Dana, DY. She was especially vicious about my hair. because as you can see, whether I have an afro or locks, I have always had butters draping down my back unless I decided to chop it all off myself. Never had a problem growing hair, wearing my own hair. I had too much fucking hair to wear a weave or a wig anyway. And Dana, DY, was very jealous. Very jealous because my mother would come up to the school for parent teacher conferences. She did the bare minimum. My mother did show up. She attended for appearance sake, like most narcissists do. They give you the basics, food, clothing, shelter, and make sure you get to school on time and everything. But your feelings, emotions, emotional, mental well being don't matter to them. Mother, father, it didn't matter. We weren't allowed to feel, talk, speak, express, explain shit unless they asked you something. Children me seen, not heard. That's the era I grew up in. Baby boomer raised me. I'm Gen X. So Dana was very vicious little motherfucker. And so I got my comeuppance and my retribution when I had to corner her after a basketball game that the children played as Pee Wee, Pee Wee Basketball League. And our children were on the cheerleading squad, and I was named and asked to be the coach. And that really sent Miss D.Y. Dana over the edge, and she felt like she could step up over me and take my spot. And she went in and went for my little girl. Needless to say, the hallway was much shinier and brighter after I got done mopping up the floor with Dana's ass. Okay. And I'm not a fighter. I never have been, but I do got them hands. I'm not a violent person, but I will defend myself and my children. Okay. And have. And just because it's not back in the day, don't mean I ain't got that today. You feel me? But this particular commenter reminds me of my childhood bully. Vicious, resentful, jealous, and hateful. I don't know why it's so hard for so many black people to call out jealousy for what it is. Why do we gaslight each other and ourselves with that? I'm not jealous. It's just I'm calling it out the way they call. No, you're not calling it out. I've never heard anybody on the cast talk about any of the other women's past traumas that could allegedly be SA or the R word. Okay. So I had a daughter, my first child, very young. And nobody ashamed of that. So what if Miss Vanessa did, Tisha's mammy did, or anybody, Miss Marlene? That's not the point. What's not appropriate, what is sick and twisted about all of this particular leaked audio is what is not your place to disclose. I don't give a fuck if Martell said it, if Melody said it herself, and it was passed along. It's not for any one of y'all to release this to the public if you don't get permission from the person that it happened to. It's fucking crazy, y'all. We don't want to call a side chick, a home wrecking hoe. We don't never want to call a strike, or a thing a damn thing. And but here we are, this disgusting conversation of 20 plus minutes about a woman neither of these two bitches know personally discussing. what could be an alleged essay in the backstory of Melody Cherie Rogers. Who the fuck do you think you are releasing shit like that about somebody else? My sister did the same thing to me, about my essay story. I was R worded. I had my oldest brother victim shaming online on social media to a complete stranger. And that's creating another assault. That's creating another injury to the person who experienced it all over again. And your ass in some states can go to fucking jail for that shit and or pay hefty fees. It's bad enough that this ignorant bimbo airheaded jump off is in contact with the Eminem children every other week. But she's sitting up here having these type of raw, unadulterated conversations with another stranger, a content creator. Who knows if the kids are around to listen to this? How do we know the kids weren't there within earshot of this conversation? She don't have no decorum. This is unfucking believable how far people will go for $1, for some clout and some attention and recognition, all based on hate. The disdain towards somebody that you don't even fucking know personally. Probably would never breathe the same space, air in the same space, same time. Don't even run in the same type of circles, but you so fucking jealous because this woman left and walked away from her abuser and landed on her feet 10 toes down and had less and did more than everybody on the cast put together and everybody else hate too. Okay? Blessings overfloweth. This is what happens when you live right, when you follow and trust the intuition that God gave you. Black women are magical. Yes, we are. This shit is disgusting, y'all. That's all I can say. This is the most deplorable, ghetto, ratchet, callous, abrasive, crass, tacky shit that anybody can do, all because of jealousy. Jealousy and envy, clout, and goddamn scandal. It's really fucked up. I know Melody's gonna take care of her business. She always do. I just, you know, I just want the ancestors to watch over her and her babies, her staff, her home, her mother, her loved ones, because these three motherfuckers are unhinged. I'm out, y'all. Peace.